And all of us marijuana users got some good news recently. President Biden, he repealed anybody who ever had a simple possession. That's gone. You're pardoned. You're good to go, which is good news. It's good news. I don't necessarily want Biden himself doing the drugs. I love that every time there's an election cycle, every time we're looking at who the new president could be, the media always loves asking that question. Have you ever gotten high? Have you ever smoked weed? I remember the first time I saw it was when I was a kid, and they asked Clinton. And Clinton was like, I don't know, maybe. Why don't you come on back to my room, find out. And then they asked George W. Bush the question, and he did not understand it. And Obama was the first one. Obama was the first one who just flat out admitted, and he shocked everybody. So, have you ever smoked pot? And he was like, yeah. Really fun. So Obama admitted he smoked weed. Trump claimed he never did. And I don't know if y'all noticed, slight difference in temperament. Now, I'm not saying Trump doesn't do drugs, but if he does, weed is not the one he's been enjoying. And you could tell as the presidency started to unravel, right? There's supposed to be like a peaceful transition of power. There's supposed to be a nice sit down between the sitting president and the incoming president. And it works like a relay race, right? Like the president has the baton, they hand it to the next one. So here comes Donnie around the corner, and he's about to hand the baton to Joe, and he's like, fuck you, go get it. One of the last things Trump did when he was in office is he took Air Force One out. You know where they were going? Nowhere. They didn't have a destination. He just wanted to be in the big plane one more time. So my theory is they got in the plane, they did a few laps around D.C., they did a mountain of Coke, probably came up with a great idea for a fusion restaurant, and then the plane lands. And the last thing Trump did before he deplaned Air Force One for the very last time, I think Trump took an upper decker in the bathroom. Now, some of you in this crowd may be too classy to know what an upper decker is. Luckily for you, I went to college in North Carolina. So an upper decker is where you poop, not in the toilet, but you take the lid off the back, you poop in there, put the toilet lid back on, nobody knows where the smell is coming from. And I don't think the Biden administration has found it yet. And that's why Biden trips every time he goes up the stairs to Air Force One. I feel so bad for that poor bastard when he trips on the stairs, but I'm also kind of impressed at the athleticism, because he falls up. I don't know which pill in the Matrix he took, but he just keeps going. He's like a reverse Slinky. It's an actually incredible thing. And weed isn't even really the cool drug for the kids, for the Gen Zs, the millennials. Y'all like your shrooms now. Got shroom people. They have their fun little terms like microdosing. Like, oh no, I'm microdosing. Like it's not like you're doing drugs still. Microdosing. It's like, I'm not an alcoholic, it's a Coronita. Just a tiny little one. Shrooms. Shrooms is what happens when you give disposable income to a generation raised on Mario Kart. Been taught these shrooms were good for you your whole life. And I mean, my era's before that. Like, my Mario didn't have a vehicle. If you were lucky, you had a dinosaur give you a lift in like one level. But I go all the way back to the original Super Mario Brothers, which was the best because it was so easy. They would just aim you in one direction, and this is your whole video game right here. If you ran too far this way, you can't even go back that way. Get your fat ass to the castle. The premise of Super Mario Brothers, a king's daughter gets kidnapped by a giant dragon. And he sends 2 Italian plumbers to go rescue her. The king got all his hands together and he's like, all right, we need to get my little girl back. I do not want to spend a lot of money. Ideas. And they're like, well, Navy SEALs, that's expensive. Marines are pretty costly. One guy raised his hand. Hey, you remember those 2 guys that fixed the toilet last week? Yeah, the one found the upper decker. We had no idea what that smell was.